Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Ryan Cox and Charles Nix here at This is a sweep from open guard, and this position is going to be called reverse de la Riva position. So Charles is in his headquarters position on me. And Charles, you mind going on the other side? There we go. I like playing guard this way better. So Charles is in on his headquarters position for me. There's a few things that I really want to do whenever I'm in this situation on the guard end of things, playing from the bottom. So the first thing I want to do is make sure that Charles isn't just able to pin this hip to the ground. And really the way that I'm going to do that is just by creating my frames. You want to create the diamond here, plant the outside foot, and then look to create some space. And then when Charles comes back in for that, I want to look to loop my toes in here under his thigh. Okay, and once I get that, I want to throw this other foot inside to kind of create some distance. And this foot is gonna work to lighten Charles' hips. So when I push off here, it's gonna relieve pressure on this leg here. So as I push, this leg is able to get stronger. Now from here, see how my hips are angled this way? This isn't the angle that I want. This is the angle that Charles wants my hips to be. And I definitely don't want to be doing the same thing that Charles wants me to be doing when I'm playing guard. So from here, what I like to do is go with a 2-on-1 grip on this near side lapel. Working with my hand in the collar here, we go from having this 2-on-1 grip on the collar to now I come down to the pants. Once I get into this situation, I'm going to use my legs to lift his rear end as I'm using my hand in the collar to do like a collar drag snatch. I want to snatch Charles and make him put his hands down here as I'm lifting with my legs. Now my outside foot is going to go heel in to the hip. My inside foot is going to go right above the knee on the thigh. Now from here, there are a number of things that I can do depending on what Charles gives me, but the first one, I've got him so loaded up here, I just want to kind of try and push him away as hard as I can, kind of get up to my elbow and use this collar grip to get up to my feet as I drive him away from me. Something that I really like about this guard is when I have my hips turned out right, I avail myself to be able to lift him and move him that direction. So as I do that, I get him going, get him lifted, I get my foot on the hip. Now sometimes I could feel, like maybe I'm not gonna be able to push Charles away from me like this, but I have this pants grip over here. So I'm just gonna push him away and lift and then pull this pants grip until I can get my armpit over this leg. Then from here I can wrap my leg around the outside and be playing the single leg X guard kind of game. So if Charles tries to square back up with me now, I can turn my hips into his hip and sit him down and be attacking from my single leg X or my single ashigarami. Okay, so we're in here, and this is exactly what Charles wants, right? This is what we want to be working from, because this is where a good guard passer is going to put us. He's going to have us here. He's going to be pinning this hip. So right away, I want to make this diamond. I want to try to get my knee shield in if I can. And then from here, connecting my knees and my elbows, I'm going to extend my shoulders away, move my hips away. And now as Charles comes back, I want to loop my toes to the outside of this hip here. Okay, so I get my guard up under his hip. Now with my free leg, I want to bring this leg toes inside, kind of using this to push him away from me. And then I want to go 2-on-1 grip on this collar. Okay, now I'm going to push away with my outside leg, lift with my inside leg, and turn my hips back until I can reinforce that guard beneath Charles's hips. I still have this 2-on-1 grip. I'm going to take my left hand down to his pants, grab the pants just below my hip here. Now from here, I'm going to lift with my legs and snatch with this collar hand, trying to get the lift going. Then I'm going to take my outside leg to the hip, heel inside here. Now I'm going to use that to push, lift his knee over the top of my knee. Now I can loop this around the outside. And now from here, if Charles tries to square back up, I can sit him down. And maybe Charles doesn't sit down right. He puts his weight back over towards his hands. I can now rotate back towards his hands. I can pull this leg out and put it on his knee, get him all stretched out. And now from here, we have a really good opportunity to attack a toe hold. Okay, so once I get Charles stretched out like this, I'm gonna go thumb inside the big toe here. I wanna reinforce right behind the armpit with my free leg. Use that to push him away from me. My other hand's gonna loop through. I'm going Kimura grip, and I want pinky finger on pinky toe. Now I can lock up this figure 4 on Charles's leg, and I wanna take this towards his butt. And now if I'm not getting this and Charles is turned back towards me this way, now I can execute a knee bar on this leg by extending my hips into the knee. So Charles has us pinned here in this headquarters position. He's doing everything right. He's keeping my hip down to the mat, which is obviously what I don't want, okay? So again, I want to create this diamond, really getting ready to do some heavy framing here. So when Charles starts putting the pressure down, I have my frames in place. My outside foot is going to allow me to escape my hips. I'm going to get the shoulders back. If I can get this knee shield in, that's all the better. Now, when Charles comes in, that's when I'm going to be able to get my bottom side foot under his thigh here. I want to be really hooking with my toes to the outside. Okay, when this gets in place, I'm going to still have my frames up with my hands, but I'm going to throw my toes inside of Charles' hips here. I'm going to use my toes to push him away and be still hooking on the leg hard here. Now I'm going to go 2-on-1 grip to this collar. I'm going near side lapel, and then I'm going to use that 2-on-1. I'm pushing my foot and lifting behind the hamstring here, and I'm just turning my hips to face the outside. As I face the outside, I'm going to lock up this reinforcement for my reverse De La Riva guard here. I'm still 2-on-1. I'm going to go from being 2-on-1 to now I'm grabbing the pants. Okay, now, once I get the pants grip, I'm going to use my collar grip to snatch and my legs to lift. Then I'm going to take my heel and put it inside Charles's hip. I take my free foot to his thigh, get some lift here, get my knee behind his knee. And now I can wrap this leg for my single leg X. And then I can take my free foot to the right behind the armpit. Then I'm going to go thumb inside Charles's foot, really push him away. As I rotate back towards his leg, I'm going for a Kimura grip, grabbing my own wrist. And now I want to take his ankle towards his rear end, going for that toe hold there. Now, if Charles goes to roll over his shoulder, well, if he goes this way, right, I get my knee lock. Or if he rolls the other way, I certainly am going to get the knee lock now.